gone from Hylissang, so clearly some bot lane focus to limit what they can take against Forgiven, and the Syndra, interestingly, will be the last ban.
Well, right now the Senna is open, and this is the question a lot of people have. Is Forgiven willing to play some of the new champions? The answer is a resounding yes right here with the first pick, Senna. So this is our first time seeing him return to the stage and now be on a champion that maybe wasn't released back then. So the Senna is definitely one of these picks that scales up into being an absolute monster. Also, I think, has the ability to bully out sometimes in the early levels.
Yeah, I think MF Senna lane, I think it's pretty fine for MF. I think as long as you get a counter pick on support, the bot matchup should be pretty good. I didn't expect Forgiven to pick Senna. I actually thought they would leave it open. I didn't know he actually played this champ, but I guess it does. Rekkles, I know, is a really, really good Senna player, so I thought Fnatic was looking for that. But we'll just have to see. I think most drafts, you kind of go AD jungle on the 1-2. You picking Gragas blind is really good, Jarvan blind is really good. You don't want to pick support yet, because you want to counter pick it on 3, or pick a solo lane on 3 and ban out 2, so you have a really strong matchup. But right now, blinding jungle is the best, and I would love to see Jarvan come out here against MF.
Yeah, do you think they can just take Braum here too? Because you see MF and Gragas on the other side. Seems like a pretty safe pick to me.
Yeah, playing Gragas into Braum is not best, but you have to do it sometimes, and then playing MF into Braum is really not good. This kind of leaves Ornn open for Schalke really well, so I would expect to see an Ornn ban from Fnatic. And then a counter pick support here, maybe Thresh is really good against Jarvan, it's really good against Braum. It makes MF kind of safe, so she can get lanterned out to the Jarvan ult. So yeah, I'd like to see a support pick here and definitely ban Ornn, because otherwise MF's going to get one shot.
Otherwise it's not going to be fun at all, yeah. As soon as you have to deal with any sort of dive, really, as that misfortune, it's not going to be fun. Okay, I had a whole thing about this earlier in the day.
Let's you obviously aren't a big fan of this.
I hate this.
I want to get Caedrel out second, but what I will say is Bwipo's put his time in on this champion in solo queue. He's prepared. He knows the matchups, but is this, we know this is good into Ornn, so is this just like a, hey, I know you want to pick the Ornn, I dare you, do it?
I think Sett is really strong. I don't think it's a first pick champ, but I think picking Rakan there or Thresh was just overall better because you have a really good bot matchup and it's really good with Gragas and stuff like this. So I'd expect to see like a Thresh Rakan ban from Schalke. I guess they're picking out Sett because now they get double ban and you can flex Sett. I think mid lane Sett is viable. We haven't seen it yet, but I do think it's a flex. So that's good for last pick. And then, yeah, they're definitely going to pick support on 4 and then have counter pick for mid or top.
Do you think Sett can, because I've seen some mid lane Sett too, but it's pretty much, it's in very specific matchups, I think. Like, he can bully around a lot of melee champions in mid lane, but as soon as you deal with the ranged one, I think it gets really difficult, and that's where the Kennen and Karma ban comes in too, from Fnatic. Those are top lane champions that can really give Sett a hard time. The Karma especially, because she just presses ER on her entire team, and then you can kite this guy for days.
Yeah, I've been seeing Sett top. I think most counters are basically range champs, like you said. It's kind of tough for Sett, but he can always just kind of ignore the range champ and just push the lane and get prio. And I think Sett is also really useful in team fights. It's the most tanky champ I've ever seen in my life. But there's the Diana ban. They're just expecting Nemesis Diana. I think he played that last week, right?
Yeah, he played both games, actually.
Yeah, I think LeBlanc is a really good pick for both teams. I think Thresh Rakan are still open, so that's super good for Fnatic because Hylissang is really good on both those champs.
And of course, Rakan was banned in the first phase, so it is only the Thresh.
Oh, yeah, sorry, my bad.
No worries. So Fnatic can opt to go for the Thresh here, kind of save that last pick, not reveal. If the Sett could be a flex, and it is the Thresh, or should be the Thresh as you predicted. So they have that extra safety that you talked about for the MF, limits some of the Cataclysm threat from the side of the J4, and now they just need to figure out how to round this composition out. I feel like you probably have to take magic damage in the mid lane at this point, or in one of your solo lanes.
I think Jarvan is super good 2v2 if you have an AP mid, like a mage. Zoe, LeBlanc, Syndra, Cassio, stuff like that. I'm a bit shocked that Thresh went through, honestly, because I'm like a Jarvan one trick. And I say if I pick Jarvan and they pick Thresh, it's really annoying. So I'd have called for a Jarvan Thresh ban there. But yeah, LeBlanc, like I said, it makes the 2v2 mid jungle really, really strong. But there are champions countering LeBlanc, and Lissandra is one of them. I think blinding LeBlanc is good if you have a strong jungle matchup, which they do in this case. So Lissandra is not as powerful, but yeah, we'll have to see.
Yeah, it's interesting too, because Schalke also got the Aatrox, which we saw work very well up against the Sett in today's first game of the day, which of course got solo kills in lane and whatnot up against Finn. Now, this is the Cassiopeia in the mid lane for Nemesis. How do you feel about this one?
Not a fan of the Cassio, but Nemesis is a really, really talented Cassio player. I think he's one of his best champs. The only problem I see is LeBlanc Jarvan is really good into Cassio. In my opinion, at least, I think she's quite easy to kill and you can get really good prio. And Jarvan's probably going to look to do something level 2 this game because he has pretty good prios in most lanes. Yeah, that's basically how jungle works nowadays. You pick Jarvan or Lee and you go to enemy buff level 2 and you just fight them. And 9 times out of 10 you'll win. So yeah, we'll have to see.
Interesting to see, though, how exactly the game is going to unfold outside of the jungle matchup as well. Two very interesting compositions. MF Senna, a matchup that we've seen in a lot of different...
Give her an ult that's the size of the map so that she can always shield them is the idea there.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, I mean, looking at level 1, Jarvan doesn't have sweeper, Braum doesn't have sweeper, so I wouldn't expect a late invade here. Normally, if you want to do a late invade on bot side, top side, you get your support to take sweeper.
Yeah.
Bot side invade with Braum, super good champ to late invade with, it's Braum. Or if you want to late invade top side with Jarvan, it's pretty good. Or he can base for sweeper now, which he hasn't placed his ward, so the sweeper won't be on cooldown. He can start red and go red to blue, so we'll have to see what he does.
This validates me so much, because we were talking about the exact same thing with your guys' level 1 last time, where both you and, or I believe Dreams placed the ward, or not Dreams, Tori placed the ward and then recalled in your game to swap out. You just held onto the sweeper, which was sort of the telling sign that the invade was going to be happening.
So if you don't want to late invade, putting your ward down level 1 is always useful, just gives free vision. You never know what's going to happen, so just drop a ward, swap the sweeper. Sweeper is, I think it's 40-50 seconds cooldown when you swap.
It should come up right when the first camp is respawning.
Yeah, so Jarvan could do red to blue here. Now you might think, well, Gragas is starting blue, that's useless. But most Gragas go to Gromp. So hopefully Selfmade goes buff to buff. I think that's the best thing to do against Jarvan. But if you go blue to Gromp, Jarvan can EQ over Dragon Pit and fight you, force your flash early, which I think Razork did last week on Lee Sin. Works even better with Jarvan. So hopefully he goes buff to buff. But if Gilius doesn't invade, then it's fine.
For now, we'll have to see. Looks like a little bit of a delay in terms of Bwipo now coming to lane. Maybe looking to fake a leash, give a little bit of false information here, set Gilius off that the Gragas is on the bottom side. And Gilius will not go for the aggressive invade. Will not have any information on Selfmade quite yet. Will just go buff to buff himself. Maybe look to contest Gragas at his own red.
See, the thing I don't like about doing Wolves here is you can't get level 3 on 3 camps now, unless he goes to Golems. So if he wards his red and goes to Golems, absolutely fine. But he has no info on Jarvan right now. So he obviously skipped the Gromp, which is really smart. They didn't even ward for it because they kind of expected that he probably will do it. So Gilius will get level 3 first, so he could possibly contest the red. Depends if Selfmade does Raptors or not.
Yeah, Selfmade actually was pinging towards his Krugs right there, which would be very interesting, so he can hit that level 3 mark, as you were talking about. Also could, in theory, you know, this would be the time when Gilius could invade, because the ward that was on there that would have spotted earlier just died. So Selfmade definitely going for the much more safe route, and now if he meets Gilius, he should be level 3 too. Yeah,
the thing I don't like about this, I think buff to buff and then Krugs is better, because now Jarvan can look. If he does see him on red, it's going to be a fight, and he has no pryos, apart from maybe top. But Gilius is looking for a level 3 gank mid.
Something you talked about.
Looks a bit hard though.
J4 duo. Nemesis though, is just going to flash away.
Not bad.
Yeah, good decision, but it does reveal Gilius on the map.
The thing I like about this play is if Cassio has no flash, she can never push in this matchup. It's impossible. If she doesn't know where jungle is, yeah, she's just on her tower all game. So, yeah, if Gilius had info on the red, it would be quite nice, but taking Raptors is pretty good too.
Smite comes out, Selfmade going to go right over the wall. Red buff not completed, he just has to grab scraps on the Raptor camp there. And Nemesis actually using a lot of his time to come over and help.
Yeah, not great there. I think Selfmade eat over the wall, and then Gilius sorry had no red. If Nemesis just kind of gave up the Raptors, I think Selfmade could have taken red there, but he will get bot crab, and bot lane is pushing in, so maybe he can look for something down here.
Seems like it should be a hard lane to gank, but Hylissang, when he takes over level 3, should have Lantern, so they can go for a lane gank right here, and
smart.
Should work.
They probably get flashes here.
Lantern,
yeah.
Play back. Holding away. Oh, that's going to get hooked. Clean hook comes in from Hylissang. Now the backup coming through the Ignite, ticking down. First blood for Fnatic. Difficult jungle start, but they turn things around in the bottom lane.
I really like that play from Selfmade. You know, this is yet another game where he is getting very aggressive with his team early on. Even when, you know, you're facing down to Jarvan, it should be a weaker matchup. But he knew Gilius was on that top side of the map, very likely taking away his red buff, which just opened him up completely to go for that bot lane 3v2.
Yeah, this is just creativity in jungle. This is why Selfmade's so good. I think if you're Schalke and your Jarvan says, oh, Gragas is topside, your bot lane's like, okay, we can crush this wave bot. But you don't expect Gragas to just run bot.
Rinse and repeat. Forgiven's in trouble. He wanted a 2v2 and he's not going to get it. Selfmade dunking down.
Yeah, bot's over, I guess.
Yeah. And look, so luckily for us, the stats team just fed me something, and I don't know if you know this as a player of Gragas yourself. Gragas currently 8-1.
Wow, that's
overall. And I thought this would be a game where it might be 8-2, but after those last 2 consecutive ganks from Selfmade, it looks like we might have a 9-1 scoreline.
Yeah, and Selfmade actually reacted really well to this. When his mid laner lost flash, he knew he had no prio mid. Top was being pushed in, so he had no prio top. So staying topside is useless, because you can't get crab, and your red's already gone, because they know it's there. So he just instantly runs bot for a gank. That's the least expected thing that the enemy bots will realize, and then 2 kills.
Yeah, I mean, you can walk us through this replay if you want.
Yeah,
it's pretty straightforward stuff.
Lantern comes in, Thresh doesn't even have the flash for the play, and then the flash was just really unlucky. Gets hit around the creep.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, to the fountain.
Nowhere really to go, and then Selfmade just walks around, is seen on vision, so Forgiven knows what's going on, but there's still a flash on Hylissang, so what can you do?
Senna had no flash from the last fight, I guess, or she must have flashed earlier on. I didn't see the flash, but he was probably there.
Oh, Nemesis. Abbedagge playing with fire here. Hook back is there, slowly but surely burning down. They're now in the midst of the fight. Abbedagge has to run for his life. Bwipo now trying to move in. Not gonna quite get it on the face breaker there. Does he have enough damage to get anything done? One kill picked up again by the side of Fnatic. Such a good start for Schalke in the jungle has turned completely against them.
It was such a good play from Fnatic too, running all the way up both with their support and jungler. They knew that play could happen from Schalke coming off the reset of Dreams, looking for a move around mid lane. I mean, they just predicted exactly what Schalke were going to do and beat them at it.
Yeah, just smart play by Fnatic. They knew when Cassio lost Flash level 3 that mid lane is really volatile. When they have a bouncing wave, they have to cover it, and they covered it.
Gilius, hooked by Hylissang. Here comes the body slam. They're waiting. They're biding their time. They want to interrupt the EQ.
There it is.
Oh, the snare is there. Forgiven trying to get something done, but it's not going to happen. Gilius, 0-1 now, and 2-0-2 for Rekkles 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah, hurts. Reminds me of our game. But AD carry is more fed, so.
Oh, Selfmade is not stopping. He's going in. That's the body slam flash. Gets over the wall. The hook going to land on it. Forgiven can't even play League of Legends. Rekkles is out for vengeance.
It's a disaster.
Bro, Abbedagge is like, wait, can we remake this one too?
Like, guys, I can't buy any more items.
Oh, my shop.
Yeah, it's not working. Well, that's because you don't have any money, Abbedagge. I know, but please.
I think the problem now is bot's going to have perma-prio. Top lane has perma-prio.
Oh yeah, there's a Sett in this game.
Yeah, I think Sett, when he gets Bramble Vest into Aatrox can never really win the all-in because of the healing reduction. And I think, yeah, Jarvan's quite far behind, so ganking top's going to be a bit difficult. So I guess, yeah, the only play you can do this game is mid if bot's in this much of a dire situation. But what I would like to see from Schalke is a swap. Push out this bot wave, MF's down on tempo, push out the bot wave and just look for a swap.
It feels like they're running out of options. That might be their only option at this point. Perhaps Odoamne can turn around the 1v1, but Bwipo still trading even so far. Dunks him right down into the tower. Quick flash out from Odoamne, but that might just be it. The fear on the minions as he speeds away.
Yeah, and Rekkles is running mid here because he doesn't know if enemy bot's going to swap or anything. He's just running mid. So if bot lane pushes in bases, he's ready to go top.
This is actually really interesting. It was like him actually taking this path here because like that mid wave is fully pushed out and of course his support's behind him, which I think is playing into that idea as well, where it's like, oh, if he ran bot lane right now by himself, he wouldn't be able to do anything, but he's just going rogue.
Doesn't need to be on bot wave, so he's just looking for pinks and hovering around mid. I mean, mid is the most volatile situation in the game for Fnatic, so putting as much resources mid early is perfect.
It was really smart too. We didn't see it because of course there was that fight, but there was a situation right around the time that Selfmade was ganking bot lane where Nemesis's wave was really messed up. It was pushing away from him, and of course he didn't have flash, so Gilius was looking for a gank, and Nemesis just reset. He gave up about a minion wave worth of gold in CS so that he would be safe because he knew his team wasn't playing around him. So I do think this team is actually very aware of the options that Schalke have and are playing really smart League of Legends.
That's the thing with Cassio into LeBlanc Jarvan. Once you lose flash, you can never walk up. So if the wave is bouncing like that, it just kind of sucks. You have to base and just wait for your team. If they are making a play bot and it's successful, perfect. You're just trading out 10 CS for that max.
Well, here's the swap you were talking about, Caedrel. So they waited to push out that wave, waited a little bit longer than maybe you were asking for, but now they are on the top side, and Rift Herald has spawned here. But I think going for it's maybe a little bit much because Hylissang's up here too.
The thing is, Misfortune has no TP, so if you're first to the Herald, you can always get it, and Herald gives you a free tempo ticket. So if you have Herald and enemy tries to trade by going bot tower, you can always Herald top, take top tower first, and you're actually in the game. Because if Fnatic gets Herald, it's pretty much over for Schalke, because Senna is the worst tower taker in the game, Aatrox is losing his matchup, so yeah, and Fnatic has priority there, so they're actually maybe fighting.
Ooh, that was close.
Gilius is going to grab that one in the end.
So Misfortune is getting free plates now, so Schalke has a choice. They either Herald top now or base and match again. Looks like they're going to keep the swap, and I would like to see a Herald top soon.
Doing what they can to push for now. Abbedagge trying to clear out mid, but with the jungler revealed on the map, Nemesis a lot more confident to step forward, conquer, making those trades much easier. We're waiting on that Herald, Caedrel, but things do appear to be going from bad to worse on the side of Schalke.
I think Schalke has no pressure points on the map, right? I mean, Aatrox was doing fine into Sett, but mid's perma pushed in, support's always around the map, Gragas is pretty fed, and Misfortune is just running around everywhere. So, I mean, the thing is, Schalke, when you Herald, you need a little bit of pressure, like top wave pushing in, bot wave pushing in, but they have no waves pushing right now. And if they do Herald top right now, you probably see Cassio push in mid, run top, and then, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's too late to do it now, right? Because Fnatic have tried to match this lane. Of course, when Misfortune is this strong, you want to keep it in the 2v2s. So Schalke decided we're just going to try and freeze the lane as best we can so that we can't get ganked again. But I don't think that works when Rekkles is level 7.
I think the best play for Schalke now, again, is Jarvan goes mid, pushes out mid with LeBlanc, and they just 3-man bot side. I think contesting top side is impossible.
Play going in. Ooh, Gragas coming through. Dreams in trouble, but the snare.
That was a good ult.
Stop that play from happening. No, both sides going to back off. See if anything else comes of this one. Oh, Caedrel's
Bye, Caedrel.
Bye, Caedrel. Thank you, Caedrel, for joining us.
We didn't even let him say goodbye.
No, it's fine.
Any message for the fans? I'll relay it to them. He says bye and waves his hands. There you go.
Bye, Caedrel. Thank you,
Thank
audience.
you.
You guys are the best.
God, has he considered casting? Has he considered coaching?
Yes.
He smurfed the draft. He smurfed the early game.
Yeah.
It's almost like he's a pro player or something.
Are you happy that he's so good at jungle that he can't threaten your position as the jungle expert? It's okay. I'm really worried about Jankos, to be fair, because he's very good at shouting, much better than I am, so...
He yells really
we
loud.
have to be very careful. We have to protect our job.
No, I think he yells almost too loud, you know? Like, Jankos needs to keep it down.
He'd be too talented as a play-by-play caster. People wouldn't enjoy it. They'd have nothing to criticize. So here we are in the game state. As mentioned, Fnatic still very much in control so far. Bwipo trying to interrupt the third Q there. The Conqueror's been proc, now trying to use Gilius. Or trying to use Odoamne to take himself out to safety. The sidestep, the Senna ult coming in. Bwipo in trouble, but that's big damage. That's one. The only way he wins is if he gets the 2v2, and he might just get it. The flash to safety. Bwipo's still alive, but not enough. The Dragon Strike from Gilius will take him down.
Oh, no. Abbedagge really wanted to get that kill down there in the bot lane. It will be a 1-for-1 trade in the end, and, you know, Schalke should be happy with this. Overall, no flash on Bwipo 2 means that once Odo's flash gets up again, but, wait a second.
Here you go.
Wait a
PGL
second.
tonight, Fnatic Bwipo, how to carry on Sett. You walk at them slowly, and if they stand still, you kill them. Spoilers, I think that's exactly what he's going to say.
All right, so now I'm going to tell you how to beat Sett.
No, don't do that, because then people will... You're ruining the content for the PGL.
Draft a comp with range.
Ender, you're ruining
Draft a comp with CC.
You're ruining the
And
content.
run away from him.
Oh.
You can just walk, actually. He's not even that fast. You know, if you compare Sett's Q to Volibear's Q, even though Sett has more movement speed initially, it's 30% to Volibear's 15, he actually gets less distance, because Volibear's Q lasts like twice as long, more than twice as long. He's worse than Volibear.
Worse than...
That's the logical conclusion I've reached.
There you go. It's all about how fast you can run an enemy champion.
Yeah, it's the only thing that matters.
Based on that, Nunu's the best, Rammus is second best, Volibear's third. Sett's in fourth place for how fast he can
Sion's
run.
pretty fast, too.
Sion's also fast. That might be down to fifth. Regardless, we're 12 minutes 30 into the game. It is about a 4K gold lead for Fnatic. Rekkles has been zooming around the map. Oh, looks like Forgiven's going to get taken out. Ooh, but he's invisible. The mist keeps him safe.
Look at Hylissang go.
Hylissang just waits.
He's crazy.
Rekkles, they're going to go everywhere. But now Gilius can go in for the follow-up, but he's still backing off. He doesn't want to commit to this one.
Oh, see, they thought Abbedagge was roaming over, which he was, of course, so Rekkles wasn't willing to commit forward.
Versus Rift Herald. The Rift Herald's walking away. How will Bwipo possibly kill it? No,
He couldn't.
Stopped.
He needed a tower.
No one was around for that plate gold either. That was really awkward.
Yeah, that was terrible.
Okay, that was strong words, but there it is.
I mean, plate money is good. That's the point of the Herald. I mean, Caedrel literally said this. You want to use the Herald, and he was saying you use the Herald immediately, and I agree. Because if they pushed out top lane immediately when they took that objective, they get money. And they desperately need money, because right now Forgiven is 2,000 gold down behind Rekkles.
Yikes. The only question remaining is Rekkles going to do the thing when he walks by the fans at the end of the game?
I want him to. I want him to do it right when he walks past Forgiven.
Hylissang, here comes the hook. It will not land. Snare will manage.
Just a warning shot.
Warning shot. Just letting him know that he could if he wanted to. I don't think we've learned anything about Sett this game. Top lane has not been super critical or important.
No.
But we've learned that Fnatic are very good about playing around their lane matchups, as we heard from Caedrel. And additionally, going bot is still an option. We weren't sure if everyone going bot was the thing in the post-Broxa era of Fnatic. It's still a thing.
Still a thing. It's funny, when Rekkles is on your team, you kind of want to gank that lane.
Crazy. Gank the good player. Who would have thought?
Fnatic are lucky. They have a lot of good players.
Abbedagge, though, they're going to commit a lot to Sett. And one of two things is going to happen here. Either this is going to be very clean and very simple, or we're going to have on our hands a Reddit highlight reel. And what I'm going to say is, I think it's a Reddit highlight reel, because that's a level 11 Sett to a level 7 Braum and a level 7 Jarvan. And this is not a champ you 100 to 0.
How does it feel to be Gilius in this game? He's just lower level, same level as the support. Oh, feels bad, man. Fnatic, though, should be able to get this top lane tower. And actually, Schalke backed away from bot lane. So while you were setting up, they were maybe thinking about going for a dive on that side of the map. Bwipo can play weak side and farm the entire thing. They don't feel comfortable because, again, diving Sett really, really, really difficult, right? He stores up so much grit right when you think you're able to finish him off. He can just turn that straight around onto you, especially when you have a couple of melee champions. So Not going to be able to make that play, and of course they will cede more objectives as the second Rift Herald of the game has spawned. This one should be able to be used to break that mid lane turret finally and just give Fnatic even more control of this game.
And it's so tough for Schalke, right? Because they had a rough week 1. I wanted to see them recover into this week 2, show us a little bit more than what they did after their losses to Excel last week. But it's just not been a solid game thus far. And sadly, no really redeemable moments. Only really the 1-for-1 on the bottom side of the map. The only real advantage that they've been able to get is the Herald was wasted. And now
not again!
It's just next on the menu. The knockback is there. Gilius is going to flag drag out to safety. That's the play, the ulti, but not quite enough. But in the meantime, Bwipo's taking a tower. They're pushing in the mid lane. Still a win for Fnatic, but good that Gilius was able to get out.
Yeah, Gilius just barely able to, thanks to the exit barrel there from Selfmade, knocked him away from the rest of the squad. Hylissang did lose his flash and his ignite there too, so makes playmaking, especially onto a champion like Forgiven Senna, a whole lot more difficult. But now Odoamne is way too far forward, and that's a Predator Gragas. Don't know if he can run from that.
Pushing down, but he knows there's no ultimate there.
He's gonna have to flash.
He can use the dash to get out to safety. The hook's now coming in. That's the knock-up. Hook comes out. Odoamne flashes from that one. Wants to try and turn and burn with the Sett ult, but will just back off instead.
I really appreciate the patience there from Odoamne, because it's very easy to flash the second you see Thresh wind up that hook, you know, thinking maybe, you know, he's just coming right at me, but held on to that one for a little while longer, was able to reactively get away, and that's what you expect out of Odoamne, trying to hold down the fort in this game. Things went really poorly for bot lane early on, but he's, you know, one of the players with the highest amount of gold on the team at the moment, as you can see with our great little graph.
Love it.
Do you like how I just seamlessly worked that in?
Look at you
I was talking about Odoamne, didn't know where I was going to go. Boom, gold.
And you can see Rekkles and Nemesis ludicrously far ahead. That is an Essence Reaver plus an additional BF sword. That MF ult is going to hurt. Just shredding through these waves. And at this stage, we are in the waiting game for the side of Schalke. Good news is you have Senna. You have that theoretical, inevitable scaling.
Okay.
Just like a Nasus or a Veigar. But significantly better.
We'll give him time. We'll give him time, Drakos.
But it is going to be a long time. And in the mid lane, you do have the Loon Zeko for Abbedagge. Gilius going for Cinderhulk. We'll still do a decent amount of burst damage here, but Abbedagge and Gilius are going to be in trouble.
Oh my, look at Nemesis sitting in this bush.
Or is Nemesis going to be in trouble?
I don't know.
That's Rift Herald used.
Nemesis is really strong. If Gilius recalls... Oh no.
There he goes, Miasma knocking him down. Huge damage to Abbedagge running for his life. That's ulti traded for ulti, though. Forcing Abbedagge off the map is going to be a tempo advantage for the rest of Fnatic as they push into bottom lane. You can see it in the picture-in-picture.
They're just going to get another tower for this?
Yeah.
Like, okay. All right, Nemesis holds his own. 1v2 in the top lane. True Savant building towards that Leandri's Torment, so going to be really hard to deal with him in the side lane.
You saw he holds his own like he was being contested. He was hiding in that bush waiting to kill someone.
I mean, it was 1v2 technically, so I'm going to say that was honorable.
1v2 because
that was honorable. I'll give him credit for it.
All right, fine. You can choose your own award categories. Well, Fnatic, Earth, Wind, and Fire on the way in. And it's looking not quite like a 20-minute game, but another display of dominance from this Fnatic lineup. After a rocky first game, they have been on point since then, absolutely obliterating Misfits. And on track to do the same to Schalke. 6K gold, 18 minutes in.
It's not going to be a 20-minute win, though, Drakos.
No, yeah. You gotta acknowledge that.
Slowing down. Already worse in week 2.
Wow, that's a stretch. You're really trying to make that narrative work, aren't you?
Wouldn't be EU without some forced narratives, Drakos.
Wow. Dynasty.
Got any truers? Nope. Okay.
I don't think. So here's the thing: is I'm wondering right now with what Fnatic has brought to the table. They don't have a ton of siege. Oh, Nemesis in trouble. Abbedagge goes in for a bit of extra damage. Nemesis, ooh, good stun. Forgiven with a follow-up. That's the shield there. They want to keep it going. No. Gilius now has to back off. This is a disaster. That has to be the worst possible outcome. Everyone is running. It's every man for themselves on the side of Schalke. Forgiven there to make sure Dreams can get out. The lockup is there. Rekkles now on a rampage. If they had got that kill, there might have been a bit of hope, but that did not work out whatsoever.
Yeah, I mean, Schalke right now, they're just trying to gang up and bully on side lanes, you know, something you oftentimes have to do when you are put at a significant deficit. The problem is, you actually look at the map right now, they have no vision on Fnatic's side of the map, so Fnatic were very easily able to collapse on over there and punish them, and of course, because it's Nemesis with his finished Seraph's Embrace, that extra shield, he also landed a beautiful double stun in that trade too. Schalke just didn't quite have the damage, and now Baron spawned at 20 minutes, and Gilius is just now back onto the map. They can take this so fast right now with double Leandries.
Leandres as well as the Haunted guys there, a bit of extra damage. They're going to burn through that one, and now they might find the follow-up fight as well. Keep your eyes on Bwipo. Where's he going to go? Abbedagge locked up on the side, trying to step away, but Rekkles is now unstoppable. It's simply too much damage for Given, getting pulled back. Bwipo looking to dunk him down. Ulti already used. Bwipo wants to finish him down. Knuckle down, 1-2 punch. That's a knockout in the mid lane.
Just run away. It's easy, man. No. Bwipo absolutely smashed him right there. Now 3 off the board. And Fnatic, they're going to be able to walk this one down. We're talking inhibitor at 20 minutes into the game because there's no one left to defend.
We might be talking game.
No.
They're very strong. That's 2 items on Rekkles.
I mean, if they went for the game, they'd have to 5v5 them like one more time inside the base, missing a couple of key ultimates. Look, they've already left, man.
Rekkles has
2 of the teammates. They're not gonna 3v5. Yeah, haha, unless.
Here comes Bwipo. Pulls Gilius back. Okay. Gilius hooked. Now goes Golden. That is the Rekkles ulti used. Gilius is going to be in trouble. Abbedagge trying to finish it off for Given on the way in. Dreams with a highly unnecessary disengage ult. And now Abbedagge is going to be in trouble. Snare manages to connect, and Ender, I think I had it right on the money there. Commit. All right. Next on the list. He's going to get taken down. Rekkles dominating. 1-2 kills picked up. He might just be fishing for a penta in the midst of this base, but the timer will run out shortly. Bwipo is going to break some faces here. Tower's going down. It's 21 minutes and 30 seconds. You can criticize them. They're a bit worse because it's 2 minutes later, but it's still an absolute display of dominance from this Fnatic lineup from start to finish. Taking their sweet time, farming a few more kills, patting those stats, and closing it out clean.
Fnatic are not ones to waste any time on the Rifts in 2020, Mr. Drakos. They like to make it get done quick.
Yeah, always feeling like a little bit of a speed run there. And I'm actually very impressed. I think the guy that we have to call out is Selfmade. You know, a lot of resources spent making sure that he could not do anything in the early game.
Yeah.
He turned it right back around on Schalke. And from there, once the Fnatic ball is rolling, it really never stops.
Yeah, I mean, I just love to see what he did in a weak jungle matchup. And I actually remember last week when the sort of the same thing happened to him, right? Where he was playing against Xerxes. Xerxes had the early game. Gragas was able to dodge around Selfmade and make a super good gank happen. He did sort of the inverse of that this time too. He got bullied out of his own topside jungle and then was able to sneak on into a lane with that Gragas and find very early kills, find a whole lot of kills too. I mean, that goal difference between bot laners was just absolutely massive. You cannot contest after that, second visit to bot.
And overall, it's just the rough start for Schalke continues, and we have to see more from them in the weeks to come. We did not get, we didn't really get any of the glimmers of brilliance that we saw in some of their other games last week. This one was just a stomp, quite honestly. But for Fnatic, rising much faster than I expected them to. I thought we'd have a much rockier start for this team. I thought after that first loss, it's as I predicted, but I might be wrong. Fnatic hit the ground running after that first loss, and